Switzerland's neutrality has long been a cornerstone of its national identity, enabling it to navigate through perilous times, including 2 world wars, by serving as a mediator and sanctuary. However, recent actions, such as the freezing of approximately 5.8 billion Swiss francs in Russian assets following the 2022 invasion of Ukraine, have sparked debate over whether Switzerland has compromised its neutral stance. This raises critical questions. Is Swiss neutrality adaptable to the complexities of modern geopolitics, or has it been fundamentally breached? Can Switzerland maintain its historical essence of impartiality while responding to global pressures, or is neutrality becoming an untenable position in today's polarized world? Since the early 19th century, this small yet influential nation has maintained a policy of non-alignment, refusing to take sides in wars and conflicts. This commitment to neutrality has not only shaped Switzerland's identity, but has also positioned it as a hub for diplomacy and international cooperation. The significance of this neutrality cannot be overstated. It has enabled Switzerland to host numerous international organizations, including the United Nations and the Red Cross, making it a vital player in global peacekeeping efforts. However, as we delve into the current geopolitical landscape, Switzerland's neutrality faces unprecedented challenges. The rise of nationalism, shifting alliances, and the increasing complexity of international relations are putting pressure on this long-standing policy. In this video, we will dive into the historical foundations of Swiss neutrality, tracing its evolution and significance. We will then analyze the geopolitical pressures and internal challenges threatening its viability today. Finally, we'll examine how international organizations and shifting global expectations are testing its resilience in an increasingly interconnected world. So let's start with the historical context of Swiss neutrality. Switzerland's neutrality is deeply rooted in its history, evolving over centuries to become a defining characteristic of the nation. The origins of this policy can be traced back to the Treaty of Westphalia in 1648, which recognized Switzerland's independence from the Holy Roman Empire. This pivotal moment laid the groundwork for a neutral stance, allowing the country to avoid entanglement in the conflicts that plagued Europe for centuries. Key historical events further solidified Switzerland's commitment to neutrality. During the Napoleonic Wars in the early 19th century, Switzerland managed to maintain its independence despite the chaos surrounding it. The Congress of Vienna in 1815 reaffirmed Swiss neutrality, establishing it as a cornerstone of the nation's identity. This neutrality was not merely a passive stance. It became an active policy that allowed Switzerland to serve as a mediator in international disputes, fostering a reputation as a diplomatic haven. The benefits of maintaining neutrality have been significant. Economically, Switzerland has thrived as a center for trade and finance, attracting businesses and investors who value stability. Politically, its neutral status has enabled the country to host international organizations and negotiations, enhancing its global influence. Socially, neutrality has fostered a sense of unity among the diverse linguistic and cultural groups within Switzerland, reinforcing a collective identity that transcends regional differences. As we explore the evolution of Swiss neutrality, it becomes clear that this policy is not just a historical artifact, but a living principle that continues to shape the nation's role in the world today. Let's focus now on modern geopolitical tensions. In today's rapidly evolving geopolitical landscape, Switzerland's long-standing neutrality is increasingly being tested by a variety of global conflicts and shifting alliances. The ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East have raised questions about the viability of neutrality in a world where superpowers are competing for influence. The rise of NATO and the European Union as collective defense mechanisms further complicates Switzerland's position, as these alliances often require member states to take sides in international disputes. Economic and security concerns also shape Switzerland's policies. The interconnectedness of global markets means that Switzerland must consider the economic repercussions of its neutrality. Trade relationships with both the EU and non-EU countries, especially in Asia and the Middle East, are vital for the Swiss economy. and any perceived bias could jeopardize these ties. Additionally, security concerns, particularly regarding cyber threats and terrorism, compel Switzerland to reassess its defense strategies while remaining committed to its neutral principles. As we analyze these modern geopolitical tensions, it becomes evident that Switzerland's neutrality is not just a historical relic, but a dynamic policy that must adapt to the complexities of an increasingly polarized world. Switzerland's long-standing policy of neutrality is confronting significant internal pressures that challenge the status quo. The Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022 intensified debates over the country's neutral stance, especially after Switzerland adopted European Union sanctions against Russia, a move some viewed as a departure from its traditional neutrality. Domestically, political divisions have emerged. The right-wing Swiss People's Party, SVP, has launched a neutrality initiative aiming to constitutionally prohibit Switzerland from joining military alliances or imposing sanctions on other countries. Conversely, other political factions advocate for closer ties with Western nations and increased cooperation with organizations like NATO, suggesting a reevaluation of neutrality in light of current global security dynamics. In fact, as a global financial hub, Switzerland has extensive trade relationships that require careful navigation. Economic dependencies on countries involved in conflicts create dilemmas for policymakers, as aligning too closely with one nation alienates others. Hence, Switzerland must continuously evaluate how its neutrality aligns with its economic interests, making it a complex balancing act. Another critical factor is the impact of immigration and multiculturalism on national identity. As Switzerland becomes more diverse, with a significant portion of its population comprising immigrants, the concept of a unified national identity is being redefined. This multicultural landscape can lead to differing views on neutrality, with some communities advocating for a more interventionist approach based on their own experiences and backgrounds. In summary, the internal pressures on Switzerland's neutrality are multifaceted, stemming from public opinion, economic realities, and demographic changes. Switzerland's neutrality is not only a national policy, but also a significant aspect of its international identity. As a member of various international organizations, including the United Nations, Switzerland faces expectations that can sometimes conflict with its neutral stance. The UN, for instance, often looks to Switzerland to play a mediating role in global conflicts, leveraging its reputation as a neutral ground for dialogue. Switzerland has also carved out a prominent role in peacekeeping and humanitarian efforts. The country has a long history of supporting international missions, providing financial aid, and facilitating negotiations in conflict zones. However, this involvement raises questions about how far Switzerland can go in supporting international efforts without compromising its neutrality. This duality, balancing global responsibilities while adhering to neutrality, creates tension. Switzerland must navigate its role as a peace broker while remaining impartial, a challenge that could redefine its global standing. The future of Switzerland's neutrality may depend on answering two pressing questions. First, does the world still need a buffer against conflict and a secure financial haven at the heart of Europe? Second, how will the Swiss population of the 21st century, more diverse than ever, find consensus on whether to maintain neutrality or move away from it? Only time will tell. So far, neutrality has proven to be a strategy that withstands the test of time. Switzerland has navigated world wars and political upheavals, adapting without compromising its core principles. Perhaps neutrality, refined to meet modern challenges, will remain its greatest strength. In this video, we have explored the multifaceted challenges facing Switzerland's neutrality, a policy that has been a hallmark of the nation for centuries. From its historical roots established during the Treaty of Westphalia to its role in contemporary global diplomacy, Switzerland's commitment to neutrality has shaped its identity and international standing. However, as we have discussed, this neutrality is increasingly tested by modern geopolitical tensions, internal pressures, and the expectations of international organizations. Thank you for joining us on this journey to understand the intricate dynamics of Switzerland's neutrality. Despite our best efforts, we may have overlooked some important perspectives. If you have valuable insights to add, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up. Your support helps us continue creating thoughtful content that delves into the complexities of global decisive moments.